Welcome, listeners, to the shadowy corridors and silent, echoing decks of one of the most hauntingly captivating tales from the annals of maritime history. Today, we draw back the veil on the RMS Queen Mary, a leviathan of the seas, whose storied past intertwines the elegance of luxury ocean travel with the somber realities of war, only to culminate in an enduring legacy shrouded in mystery and spectral whispers. Floating now as a hotel off the coast of Long Beach, California, the Queen Mary is a repository of countless stories, a silent witness to the echoes of laughter, the fervor of wartime, and the silent, unyielding grip of death. But it's the tales of the unseen, the whisperers in the night, and the apparitions that wander her grand halls that beckon us closer, urging us to listen, to understand, and perhaps to believe. As night falls and the veil between our world and the next grows thin, guests report encounters with the ethereal, sightings of ghostly figures robed in the garb of a bygone era, unexplained noises that resonate with the life the ship once knew, and chilling cold spots that appear as markers of unseen presences. Join us as we journey through the haunted history of the RMS Queen Mary, exploring the depths of her past, the mysteries that lurk within her iron-bound frame, and the stories of those who have crossed from the realm of the living to become part of her eternal lore. This is not just a tale of a ship, but a voyage into the unknown, where the boundaries of time and existence blur, and where every creak and whisper tells a story. Prepare yourself, dear listener, for as we embark on this journey together, remember, the past is never truly dead, and on the RMS Queen Mary, it seems it's not even past. In the heart of Clydebank, Scotland, under skies heavy with anticipation, the RMS Queen Mary began her journey not on the waves, but in the dreams of those who sought to create the grandest ocean line the world had ever seen. It was the early 1930s, a time when the promise of technology and luxury began to merge into vessels that were titans of the sea, symbols of human ambition reaching across the vast, unyielding oceans. The Queen Mary was no ordinary ship. She was conceived to be the pinnacle of naval engineering, a floating palace that would dwarf her predecessors in both size and splendor. Her keel was laid in 1930, marking the beginning of a construction that would navigate through the tumult of the Great Depression, a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. As thousands of workers toiled over her steel bonds, the Queen Mary began to take shape, a silent giant awaiting her breath of life. Launched on September 26, 1934, by Queen Mary herself, this ship was a marvel to behold, stretching over 1,000 feet in length. With towering funnels and elegant lines, she was a beacon of progress and the embodiment of luxury. The interiors were nothing short of opulent, with Art Deco furnishings, grand ballrooms, and sumptuous cabins designed to host the world's elite. The Queen Mary was not just a ship. She was a floating testament to human achievement, a palace that challenged the very elements. Her maiden voyage on May 27, 1936, was an event celebrated across the world. Departing from Southampton, England, bound for New York, she glided across the Atlantic with grace and speed, capturing the blue riband for the fastest transatlantic crossing, a symbol of her might and elegance. This voyage marked the beginning of a career that would see the Queen Mary become the jewel of the ocean, carrying celebrities, royals, and dignitaries across the waves in unmatched luxury. Yet, beneath the glitz and glamour, a shadow lingered within her hull, an unseen passenger from the very beginning. Whispers of strange occurrences, of workers who vanished between her steel ribs during construction, their fates sealed in silence. These were the first murmurs of the Queen Mary's otherworldly legacy, a prelude to the tales of apparitions and unexplained phenomena that would follow her through the decades. As the Queen Mary sailed through the 1930s, she epitomized the golden age of ocean travel, a floating symbol of human aspiration. But as the world edged closer to the brink of war, the fate of this majestic liner would take a turn into the unknown, steering her into waters shadowed by conflict and mystery. Little did those who walked her elegant decks know, the Queen Mary was destined to become more than just a ship of luxury and speed. She was to become a vessel of stories, some whispered in awe, others spoken in hushed tones of fear and apprehension. Join us as we delve deeper into the journey of the RMS Queen Mary, through triumphs and trials, into a realm where history and the supernatural converge, creating a legacy that transcends the ordinary, inviting us to question what lies beyond the veil of our understanding. As the world plunged into the dark depths of World War II, the RMS Queen Mary's story took a dramatic turn, mirroring the global shift from peace to conflict. The grandeur and opulence that had defined her early years were stripped away, replaced by a stark, utilitarian purpose. She was to become a troopship, a guardian of the seas, ferrying soldiers to the front lines. This transformation marked a new chapter in her legacy, one shrouded in secrecy, speed, and the specter of war. The Queen Mary's luxurious interiors were gutted to accommodate up to 15,000 troops at a time, a far cry from the pampered voyages of the elite. Her gleaming wood paneling and elegant staterooms were concealed beneath the trappings of war, her decks crowded with the machinery of conflict and the souls of young men bound for battle. The transformation was profound, turning a symbol of human achievement into a vessel of survival and duty. in this new role. The Queen Mary was cloaked in a coat of drab gray, a camouflage that blended with the restless seas, earning her the nickname, a Grey Ghost. It was a moniker that spoke to her elusive nature. As she moved silently and swiftly across the ocean, evading enemy submarines and aircraft, her speed was her greatest defense, capable of outrunning any threat. A ghost ship that appeared as a wisp of smoke on the horizon before vanishing into the mist. The Queen Mary's missions were carried out in utmost secrecy, her routes and schedules known only to a few. She traversed the Atlantic and the dangerous waters of the North Sea, a lifeline to the Allied forces, her hull brimming with the hopes and fears of the countless soldiers she carried. Each voyage was a gambit, a dance with fate across the mine-infested waters, where the specter of death was a constant companion. But it was not only the external threats that cast a shadow over the Queen Mary during these war years. Tales began to emerge from the bowels of the ship, stories that spoke to the fear and uncertainty of her human cargo. Whispers of apparitions in the corridors, of spectral figures standing watch over the sleeping troops, and of eerie noises echoing through the empty spaces where luxury once reigned. These were the unseen scars of war, the imprints of lost souls who had become part of the Queen Mary's fabric, a haunting reminder of the cost of conflict. One of the most chilling incidents occurred in 1942 when the Queen Mary collided with her escort, the HMS Curaçao, slicing the smaller ship in half and sending more than 300 sailors to their watery graves. The Queen Mary, bound by the rules of war to not stop for survivors, continued on, leaving behind the scene of devastation. It was a tragedy that would forever haunt her, the screams of those men lost in the cold embrace of the Atlantic, a ghostly chorus that some say can still be heard in the dead of night. As the war raged on, the Grey Ghost remained a beacon of hope and a symbol of resilience, completing mission after mission with unwavering determination. But the toll of her wartime service was etched into her very steel, a reminder of the sacrifices made and the lives forever intertwined with her history. The war would eventually come to an end, and a Queen Mary would once again undergo a transformation, returning to her roots as a luxury liner. But the shadows of her past as the Grey Ghost would linger, a spectral legacy woven into the tapestry of her grand and haunting story. As the echoes of World War II faded into history, the RMS Queen Mary, the vessel that had served as a beacon of hope and a symbol of resilience, was poised to undergo yet another transformation. The Grey Ghost, which had traversed the treacherous waters of war, carrying thousands of souls between the realms of life and death, was to shed her utilitarian cloak, and once again, on the grandeur of her early days, she was to return to her roots as a luxury ocean liner, a floating palace that had once sailed the seas in a display of unmatched elegance and opulence. The transition was not without its shadows, however. That Queen Mary's return to civilian life was a complex process, one that involved not just the physical refurbishment of her interiors, but also a spiritual cleansing of sorts. The ship that had been a silent witness to the horrors of war, carrying soldiers to the battlefront and evading the deadly grasp of enemy forces, was now tasked with ferrying passengers in pursuit of leisure and luxury. The scars of her wartime service, both visible and invisible, lingered within her steel frame, imbuing her with a sense of depth and mystery that went beyond her physical beauty. In 1947, after extensive renovations that sought to restore her pre-war splendor, Queen Mary resumed her transatlantic voyages. Her decks, once crowded with troops, now welcomed guests in evening attire. Her ballrooms echoed with music and laughter, and her staterooms offered sanctuary to those seeking the romance of the sea. Yet, for all the efforts to recapture the essence of her golden age, there remained an undercurrent of something else, a whisper of the past that could not be silenced. The Queen Mary's post-war years were marked by a return to prominence, as she once again became the choice of celebrities, dignitaries, and those with a taste for the finer things in life. But the world was changing, and with the advent of air travel, the era of the ocean liner was slowly drawing to a close. By the 1960s, the Queen Mary, like many of her kind, was facing an uncertain future, her once unquestioned reign over the waves challenged by the speed and convenience of flying. In 1967, the decision was made to retire the Queen Mary from service, marking the end of an illustrious career that had spanned over 3 decades. Her final voyage was a poignant one, a journey not just from Southampton to Long Beach, California, but from the present into the annals of history. As she made her way to her final resting place, where she would be transformed into a hotel and museum, there was a sense of an era ending, of the closing of a chapter that had been written on the high seas. Queen Mary's arrival in Long Beach was met with fanfare and nostalgia, a tribute to her legacy as one of the greatest ocean liners ever built. As she was moored permanently, becoming a stationary monument to her own past, the transition from active vessel to silent observer was not without its disquiet. The stories and spirits of those who had walked her decks, whether in pursuit of adventure, in the service of war, or in the embrace of luxury, seemed to linger, imbuing her with a life of her own. As a hotel and museum, that Queen Mary offered guests the opportunity to step back in time, to experience the elegance and grandeur of a bygone era. But there were also those who came seeking the shadows, drawn by tales of hauntings and unexplained phenomena. The Queen Mary, with your rich history and deep connections to both the joys and sorrows of the human experience, was a vessel ripe for such stories. whispers of ghostly apparitions, of unexplained sounds, and of an atmosphere thick with the presence of the past, became as much a part of her allure as her architectural beauty and historical significance. In her retirement, the Queen Mary has become a symbol of the intersection between history and mystery, a place where the boundaries between the seen and the unseen blur. She stands as a guardian of memories, a keeper of secrets, and a witness to the passage of time. Her story an enduring testament to the complexity of the human spirit and the depths of the unknown. In the quiet, shadow-draped halls of the RMS Queen Mary, now a silent sentinel anchored in Long Beach, California, whispers of the past intertwine with the present, creating a tapestry of mystery and intrigue. This grand vessel, a repository of countless stories, has become an epicenter for those who seek the unknown, drawn by tales of spectral sightings and unexplained phenomena. Among these ghostly residents, two of the most captivating and frequently recounted are the enigmatic woman in white and the playful spirits of children by the ship's pool. The woman in white. In the opulent setting of the Queen's Salon, once a grand ballroom where the elite of the elite gathered in celebration, a spectral figure has been seen gliding across the polished floor. She is known as the woman in white, a ghostly apparition clothed in a flowing gown that harks back to the ship's glamorous past. Witnesses describe her as an elegant presence, her demeanor serene, as she moves with a grace that belies her ethereal nature. The woman in white remains an enigma, her identity and reasons for lingering within the Queen Mary's walls shrouded in mystery. Some speculate she might have been a first-class passenger, forever bound to the luxury and splendor of her surroundings, unable to detach herself from the life she once knew. Others suggest she is a guardian of sorts, watching over the ship and those who come to explore its depths. Her appearances are often accompanied by a feeling of being watched, a gentle reminder perhaps that the past is never truly gone. Children at play. Equally haunting are the sounds and sights reported around the ship's first-class swimming pool, an area that has been dry for decades, yet seems alive with the echoes of the past. Visitors and staff have reported hearing the laughter and voices of children, the splashes of unseen bodies diving into the water, and the wet footprints of invisible feet pacing the deck. These playful spirits, seemingly caught in a loop of joy and innocence, remind us of the Queen Mary's days as a vibrant vessel of life and adventure. Theories abound regarding these spectral children, with some suggesting they are the lingering essences of young passengers who once frolicked in a pool, their laughter imprinted on the fabric of the ship, Others believe they might be connected to more tragic stories, perhaps accidents or untimely deaths that occurred during the Queen Mary's long history. A haunting legacy. The presence of these ghosts, whether perceived, felt, or seen, adds layers of depth to the Queen Mary's already rich tapestry. The woman in white and the children at the pole serve as poignant reminders of the ship's vibrant past, each sighting a thread connecting the living to the stories of those who have come before. These spirits, whether manifestations of the collective imagination or genuine paranormal phenomena, invite us to ponder the mysteries of life and the afterlife, urging us to listen closely to the whispers of history. As we explore these haunted spaces, we tread the fine line between skepticism and belief, between the known world and that which lies beyond our understanding. The RMS Queen Mary, in her majestic silence, stands as a beacon for the curious, the brave, and those who seek to unlock the secrets of the past, her ghostly inhabitants guiding us through the shadows of history toward the light of discovery. Chapter 5. Beneath the polished decks, and within the grand halls of the RMS Queen Mary, a symphony of unexplained noises reverberates through the air, a haunting melody that speaks to the ship's storied past. These sounds, ranging from mysterious knocks and clangs to the deep, unsettling noises of the engine room, weave a tapestry of mystery that blankets the vessel in an atmosphere of suspense and apprehension. The engine room's heartbeat. Nowhere aboard the Queen Mary are the echoes of the past more palpable than in the depths of her engine room. It was here, in the ship's once throbbing heart, where a young sailor met a tragic fate. According to the stories that have been passed down through the years, the sailor was crushed to death by a watertight door during a routine drill, a common practice during the ship's wartime service as a troop carrier. This area, designated as Door 14, has since become a focal point for paranormal activity, a place where the boundaries between the past and present seem to blur. Visitors and crew members alike have reported hearing the sounds of metal grinding against metal, the echoes of footsteps that follow no living person, and the chilling sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. Some have even claimed to hear the desperate final moments of the young sailor, his attempts to free himself, forever imprinted on the very steel of the ship. The engine room, with its labyrinth of pipes and machinery, now silent and still, serves as a stark reminder of the dangers that once lurked in the bowels of this majestic vessel. Knocking on the past's door. The mysterious sounds aboard the Queen Mary are not confined to the engine room. Throughout the ship, guests have reported hearing knocks and clangs that defy explanation, as if the ship itself is communicating with those who walk her decks. These auditory phenomena often occur in the dead of night, when the ship's historical aura is at its most potent, enveloping the listener in a shroud of mystery and fear. In some instances, these sounds are attributed to the normal settling of the ship's structure, a reminder of the Queen Mary's age and history. However, there are those who believe these noises are signs of the supernatural, the attempts of the ship's former inhabitants to reach out from the beyond. The rhythmic knocking, the sudden clangs, all contribute to the eerie ambience that permeates the Queen Mary, each sound a note in the symphony of the unknown. A ship alive with history. The unexplained noises that haunt the RMS Queen Mary serve as a constant reminder of her rich and tumultuous past. For some, these sounds are merely the whispers of history, the natural consequence of a ship that has seen decades of service. For others, they are evidence of the paranormal, of spirits unable or unwilling to leave the vessel they once called home. As we navigate the shadowy corridors and explore the silent chambers of the Queen Mary, we are accompanied by the sounds of a bygone era, a haunting melody that ties us to the ship's storied history. The mysterious knocks, the clangs, and the ghostly echoes of the engine room invite us to ponder the mysteries that lie within her steel frame, urging us to listen closely to the whispers of the past and to question what lies beyond the veil of our understanding. Amidst the whispers of the past and the echoes of unexplained phenomena aboard the RMS Queen Mary lies a deeper, more personal narrative, the stories of spectral sailors and passengers, souls tethered to the ship by bonds unseen. These spirits, from the highest ranks to the humble travelers, roam the Queen Mary's decks and halls, each with their own tale, their presence a testament to the vessel's vibrant history. Among these ethereal inhabitants, one figure stands out, commanding both respect and intrigue: Captain Treasures Jones, the ship's last master, who is said to still watch over his beloved vessel. Captain Treasures Jones, the eternal guardian. Captain Treasures Jones, renowned for his leadership and maritime skill, helmed the Queen Mary during her final years of service. A distinguished figure, his connection to the ship was profound, embodying the spirit and legacy of the Queen Mary. It is perhaps this deep bond that has led to numerous reports of his apparition, seen in the areas of the ship he once commanded with such dedication. Witnesses describe encounters with a figure exuding an air of authority, dressed in captain's attire, his gaze sweeping over his domain with the watchful eye of a guardian. Some report a sense of calm and safety in his presence, as if Captain Jones himself is reassuring them that they are under his protection. The crew that never left. Captain Jones is not the only spectral sailor said to inhabit at Queen Mary, the engine room, the site of tragic accidents and tireless labor, is reputed to be a hot spot for paranormal activity. Here, the spirits of sailors who once worked in the heart of the ship are believed to linger, their apparitions occasionally glimpsed among the machinery and through the narrow corridors. The sounds of their toil-clanning tools, shuffling feet, whispered commands add to the eerie atmosphere, a reminder of the human effort that powered this great vessel across the seas. Passengers in the afterlife. The Queen Mary's passengers, too, have left their mark on her spiritual legacy. From the elegant first-class lounges to the more modest third-class accommodations, there have been sightings and experiences that suggest the presence of former guests. These spectral passengers appear to continue their journey, forever bound to the ship's luxurious halls and intimate spaces. Stories of ghostly figures in period clothing, vanishing as quickly as they appear, and the sounds of laughter and music from empty rooms create a tapestry of the Queen Mary's rich social history, alive with the vibrancy of those who once walked your decks. A ship alive with spirits. The tales of Captain Treasures Jones, his crew, and the passengers who still roam the RMS Queen Mary speak to a deeper connection between the ship and those who called your home. These spirits, whether manifestations of the collective memory or entities with unfinished business, contribute to the mystique and allure of the Queen Mary. They invite visitors to peer into the past, to imagine the lives intertwined with the ship's history, and to ponder the mysteries of the afterlife. As we explore the haunted spaces of the Queen Mary, we walk in the footsteps of those who came before us, their stories etched into the very fabric of the ship. The spectral sailors and passengers, with Captain Treasures Jones at the helm, continue to watch over the Queen Mary, a ship not just of steel and steam, but of soul and spirit, forever sailing through the mists of time and memory. Within the shadowed confines and silent, echoing chambers of the RMS Queen Mary, the veil between the known and the unknown is perpetually thin, a boundary that has captivated the minds and imaginations of many. Over the years, this legendary vessel has become a focal point for paranormal investigators, drawn by tales of spectral figures, unexplained noises, and an atmosphere charged with the energy of the past. Armed with modern technology and a determination to peel back the layers of mystery, these investigators have embarked on a quest to uncover evidence of the supernatural, to bridge the gap between skepticism and belief. The tools of the trade. The pursuit of the paranormal is not undertaken lightly, nor is it the realm of the ill-equipped. Today's investigators bring an arsenal of sophisticated tools designed to detect the slightest anomalies in the environment. thermal imaging cameras, electromagnetic field, EMF, detectors, digital voice recorders, and infrared cameras are just a few of the instruments used to capture evidence of ghostly presences. These devices, sensitive to changes in temperature, electrical fields, and sound, serve as the eyes and ears of the investigators in realms beyond human perception. Voices from beyond. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence sought by paranormal investigators aboard the Queen Mary is electronic voice phenomena, EVP. These are sounds captured on audio recordings that resemble voices, believed to originate from beyond the grave. In the silent corridors and abandoned spaces of the Queen Mary, investigators have recorded numerous CVPs that defy logical explanation, whispers in the dark, calls for help, and messages from the unseen. Some of these recordings are thought to be the voices of former passengers and crew, reaching across the divide to make their presence known. Shadows and apparitions. With the advent of night vision and infrared technology, paranormal investigators have also been able to document visual anomalies aboard the ship. Shadows that move with purpose, but without source. Figures that appear and vanish before the camera's unblinking eye. And unexplained light phenomena have all been reported. These visual captures, often fleeting and subject to interpretation, add to the mounting evidence of the Queen Mary's haunted reputation. The cold spots of presence. Another phenomenon frequently encountered by investigators are dramatic temperature fluctuations, known colloquially as cold spots. These are areas where the ambient temperature drops significantly, without any physical explanation. It is theorized that these cold spots may indicate the presence of a spirit, a theory that has been substantiated by numerous accounts on the Queen Mary. Thermal imaging cameras have mapped these anomalies, showing the stark contrast between the warmth of the surrounding environment and the chilling embrace of the unseen. Skeptics and believers united. The paranormal investigations conducted on the RMS Queen Mary have yielded a trove of data, experiences, and anecdotes that continue to fuel the debate between skeptics and believers. While skeptics argue for logical explanations rooted in the physical world, believers find in these investigations evidence of a reality beyond our current understanding. Regardless of where one falls on this spectrum, the allure of the Queen Mary's mysteries remains undeniable. These investigations, with their blend of technology and tenacity, invite us to question our understanding of the world around us. They challenge us to consider the possibility of life beyond death, of a world populated not just by the seen, but by the unseen. As the Queen Mary continues to stand as a monument to human achievement and a keeper of secrets, the quest for answers goes on, a journey into the heart of the unknown. As we delve deeper into the enigmatic world of the RMS Queen Mary, a vessel as steeped in spectral lore as in maritime history, we find ourselves navigating the murky waters between skepticism and belief. The ghost stories and paranormal experiences reported aboard this legendary ship have sparked debate, drawing lines between those who seek rational explanations and those who embrace the possibility of the supernatural. This chapter aims to explore this divide, presenting a balanced view of the skepticism surrounding ghost stories and the counter-arguments offered by believers and eyewitnesses. The skeptic's perspective. Skeptics argue that human perception is inherently flawed, easily influenced by suggestion, emotion, and the power of expectation. In the dimly lit corridors and vast, echoing spaces of the Queen Mary, it's not difficult to imagine how the mind might play tricks on those already primed for a ghostly encounter. Skeptics point to logical explanations for so-called paranormal phenomena, drafts and temperature changes accounting for cold spots, the creaking and settling of the ship's structure producing mysterious noises, and the treks of light and shadow giving rise to apparitions. Furthermore, the skeptics emphasize the role of technology and misinterpreting natural occurrences as supernatural. They argue that devices used in paranormal investigations, such as EMF detectors and voice recorders, can be overly sensitive or pick up interference from mundane sources, leading to false positives that fuel ghostly narratives. The believers' counter-arguments. On the other side of the debate are the believers, bolstered by a wealth of personal experiences and eyewitness accounts that defy easy explanation. They argue that while not all ghost stories can be taken at face value, the sheer volume and consistency of paranormal reports aboard the Queen Mary suggest something beyond the reach of conventional understanding. Believers in the paranormal point to instances where multiple witnesses, with no prior knowledge of each other's experiences, report strikingly similar encounters with the ship's spectral inhabitants. These accounts, they argue, lend credence to the notion that the Queen Mary is a hotspot for supernatural activity, a place where the veil between worlds is unusually thin. Moreover, believers highlight the emotional and psychological impact of these encounters. For many who have experienced the unexplainable aboard the Queen Mary, the events are transformative, leaving them with a profound sense of having touched something beyond the mundane. This, they argue, cannot be easily dismissed or explained away by environmental factors or technological glitches. Bridging the divide. Between the skepticism and belief lies a vast expanse of ambiguity, a space where the mysteries of the Queen Mary dwell. It's within this space that many find the allure of the unknown, the thrill of the ghost story, and the timeless appeal of the RMS Queen Mary herself. Whether one leans towards skepticism or belief, the stories of the Queen Mary invite exploration and contemplation, challenging us to question our understanding of the world. The debate over the paranormal is unlikely to be resolved aboard the decks of the Queen Mary, or anywhere else, for that matter. It's this very debate that keeps the stories alive, prompting new generations to visit the ship, to listen to the whispers of the past, and to decide for themselves where they stand. In the end, perhaps the true legacy of the Queen Mary's ghost stories is not in their ability to prove or disprove the existence of the supernatural, but in their power to captivate, to inspire wonder, and to keep us searching for answers in the shadows. In the serene waters of Long Beach, California, the RMS Queen Mary stands as a silent testament to a bygone era. Her majestic silhouette, a bridge between the past and the present. But this historic ocean liner is more than a mere relic. She has been reborn as a modern attraction, drawing visitors from around the globe, not only for her rich history, but for the allure of her haunted reputation. This chapter delves into the Queen Mary's current incarnation, exploring how ghost tours and overnight stays contribute to the ship's legacy, and how her spectral fame impacts those who walk her decks today. A haunting attraction, the Queen Mary has masterfully embraced her reputation as one of the most haunted places in the world, turning tales of apparitions and unexplained phenomena into a unique selling point. Ghost tours guide the curious and the brave through the ship's dimly lit corridors, into the heart of her most haunted locations. From the engine room, home to the tragic tale of the young sailor crushed by door 14, to the first-class swimming pool, where the laughter of spectral children is said to echo. These tours offer a glimpse into the ship's eerie past. The allure of these ghostly experiences is undeniable, drawing those fascinated by the supernatural and history enthusiasts alike. These tours do more than just recount tales of the paranormal. They breathe life into the Queen Mary's storied past, allowing visitors to touch a part of history that is as much about the people who lived and died on board as it is about the ship herself. Overnight with the spirits. For those seeking an even closer encounter with the Queen Mary's resident spirits, the opportunity to spend the night aboard the ship presents an irresistible challenge. The hotel rooms, once the cabins of wealthy passengers, now offer guests the chance to experience the ship's ambience after dark, when the hustle and bustle of daytime tours give way to a more intimate and, some would say, haunted experience. Overnight guests have reported a range of paranormal experiences, from the feeling of being watched to the sound of unseen footsteps echoing in the halls. Some have even reported waking to find ghostly figures at the foot of their beds, or hearing the sounds of distant parties from a time when the ship sailed the high seas. These overnight stays not only offer a unique accommodation experience, but also a personal interaction with the Queen Mary's ghostly lore. Impact on the legacy. The Queen Mary's haunted reputation and the experiences it offers have had a profound impact on your legacy. While she remains an important historical monument, it is the tales of the paranormal that have captured the public's imagination, ensuring her place in modern popular culture. The ship's blend of authentic maritime history and ghostly tales provides a compelling narrative that appeals to a wide audience, from those entrusted in the supernatural to maritime historians and casual tourists. This haunted reputation has also sparked debates about the preservation of the ship, with some arguing that the focus on ghost stories detracts from her historical significance. Yet, it can also be argued that the fascination with the Queen Mary's spectral resonance has brought her to the attention of a broader audience, generating the funds and interest necessary to maintain and preserve this iconic vessel for future generations. In conclusion, the RMS Queen Mary's transformation into a modern attraction, complete with ghost tours and overnight stays, has woven a new layer into her rich tapestry. Her haunted legacy, far from overshadowing her historical importance, has instead added depth to her story, inviting visitors to explore the intersection of history and mystery, and to ponder the enduring allure of the unknown. As the RMS Queen Mary continues to cast her imposing shadow over the waters of Long Beach, her spectral legacy has transcended the confines of maritime history, seeping into the very fabric of popular culture. The haunting tales and ghostly encounters that permeate her decks have inspired a myriad of creative expressions, from films and books to television programs, each drawing upon the ship's rich tapestry of mystery and intrigue. This chapter explores the profound impact of the Queen Mary's ghost stories on popular culture, illustrating how this legendary vessel has become a symbol of the paranormal, captivating the imaginations of audiences around the world. The Queen Mary on the silver screen. The film industry, with its penchant for stories that thrill and terrify, has found a muse in the RMS Queen Mary. Her eerie tales and historical grandeur have provided the backdrop for various movies, serving as both a setting and a character in her own right. Filmmakers have been drawn to the ship's blend of luxury and mystery, using her haunted reputation to enhance horror films and paranormal thrillers. The Queen Mary's imposing silhouette and Art Deco interiors offer a visually stunning and atmospherically rich setting, where the line between fiction and reality blurs, leaving audiences to wonder where the history ends and the haunting begins. Literature's haunted pages. In the realm of literature, the Queen Mary's ghost stories have inspired authors to pen novels and non-fiction works, that explore the ship's paranormal legacy. These books range from historical accounts of her maritime past to spine-tingling tales that weave together fact and fiction, drawing readers into a world where the spirits of the past seem to leap from the page. The ship's real-life ghost stories provide a foundation upon which writers build complex narratives, exploring themes of loss, eternity, and the human fascination with the afterlife. Through these literary works, the Queen Mary's tales continue to reach new audiences, inviting them to explore the darker corners of her decks. A presence on the small screen. Television has also played a significant role in bringing the Queen Mary's ghost stories to the forefront of popular culture. Paranormal investigation shows have featured the ship in numerous episodes, where teams equipped with the latest in ghost hunting technology seek to uncover evidence of the supernatural. These programs, with their mix of suspense, history, and science, have introduced the Queen Mary's hauntings to a global audience, sparking interest and debate among skeptics and believers alike. Additionally, the ship has been the subject of documentaries and historical programs, which delve into her past and present, highlighting both her tangible and spectral legacies. The cultural impact. The influence of the Queen Mary's ghost stories on popular culture is a testament to the ship's enduring allure. Through films, books, and television, her tales have been immortalized, reaching far beyond those who have walked your decks. This cultural fascination underscores a universal curiosity about the unknown and a collective desire to explore the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of our understanding. The Queen Mary's presence in popular culture not only keeps her history alive, but also ensures that her ghost stories continue to captivate and intrigue. As a symbol of the paranormal, she invites us to question the boundaries of our reality, to consider the possibility of life after death, and to ponder the stories that linger in the spaces between history and myth. In this way, the RMS Queen Mary sails on, not just as a relic of the past, but as a vessel of endless fascination, charting a course through the imagination of generations to come. As the RMS Queen Mary stands as a sentinel on the shores of Long Beach, her story continues to unfold, not just through the tales of those who once walked her decks, but in the ongoing struggle to preserve this iconic vessel for future generations. The Queen Mary is not only a monument to maritime history, and a beacon for those fascinated by the supernatural. She is also a testament to the challenges of preserving a piece of the past in the modern world. This chapter explores the complex efforts to maintain and restore the Queen Mary, the financial and structural hurdles that have emerged over the years, and the debate over her future. A battle against time and tide. Preserving the RMS Queen Mary is a daunting task, a battle against both time and the elements. As a structure that has braved the seas and a passage of decades, the ship faces inevitable wear and tear. Rust and corrosion eat away at her steel frame, while the ravages of time threaten the integrity of her wooden decks and elegant interiors. The preservation efforts involve not just routine maintenance, but extensive restoration work, a meticulous process that seeks to maintain the ship's historical authenticity while ensuring her structural safety. Financial waves. The financial challenges of preserving the Queen Mary are as formidable as the physical ones. The cost of restoration and maintenance runs into millions of dollars, a daunting sum that requires creative solutions and continuous funding. Over the years, the ship has relied on a mix of revenue from tourism, including hotel stays, dining, and tours, as well as support from the city of Long Beach and various grants. However, fluctuating tourism revenues and the immense costs associated with her upkeep have led to financial instability, raising concerns about the viability of ongoing preservation efforts. The debate over the future. The debate over the future of the RMS Queen Mary is multifaceted, involving historians, preservationists, city officials, and a public. Some argue that every effort must be made to preserve the ship as a vital link to maritime history and a cultural landmark. They see the Queen Mary as an irreplaceable treasure, a living museum that offers invaluable insights into the past and serves as a reminder of the human spirit's resilience and ingenuity. Others, while recognizing the ship's historical significance, question the feasibility of maintaining such a large and aging structure in perpetuity. They suggest exploring alternative approaches to preservation, including digital documentation or even relocating portions of the ship to a more controlled environment. Navigating uncertain waters. As the debate continues, the Queen Mary remains a symbol of the challenges faced in preserving our cultural heritage. The ongoing efforts to save the ship are a testament to the dedication of those who believe in the importance of maintaining a tangible connection to the past. These efforts are also a reminder of the complexities involved in such a task, where financial, structural, and environmental considerations must be balanced against the desire to keep history alive. The future of the RMS Queen Mary is as uncertain as the seas she once navigated. Regardless of what lies ahead, her legacy is secure, not only as a monument to the golden age of ocean travel, but as a beacon for those drawn to the mysteries of history and the paranormal. In the efforts to preserve her, we find a reflection of our own struggles to hold on to the past, to learn from it, and to ensure that its stories continue to inspire and haunt us for generations to come. As our journey through the storied halls and shadowed decks of the RMS Queen Mary comes to a close, we find ourselves standing at the confluence of history and mystery, where the echoes of the past meet the whispers of the unknown. This final chapter is a reflection on Queen Mary's enduring legacy, not only as a majestic monument to maritime history, but also as a beacon for those drawn to the veil of the paranormal. Her story is a testament to human achievement, resilience, and the unending quest to explore the boundaries of our understanding. A monument to maritime history. The RMS Queen Mary's legacy as a historical monument is unparalleled. From her inception as the pinnacle of luxury ocean travel to her valiant service in World War II, and her final role as a floating hotel and museum, she has been a witness to and participant in some of the 20th century's most pivotal moments. Her structure, a marvel of engineering, speaks to the ingenuity and ambition of an era when ocean liners were the epitome of human progress and cultural exchange. The Queen Mary is a living museum, each room and corridor a page from history, offering us a glimpse into the lives of those who sailed her across the Atlantic in times of both war and peace. A beacon for the paranormal. Beyond her tangible history, that Queen Mary occupies a unique place in the realm of the paranormal. Her haunted reputation has fascinated millions, drawing seekers of the unknown from around the globe. The stories of spectral sailors, the woman in white, and the playful spirits of children echo through her halls, a reminder that some tales don't end with the closing of history's books. For those who walk her decks, whether skeptics or believers, that Queen Mary offers a journey into the heart of the supernatural, an invitation to ponder what lies beyond the seen world. The intersection of worlds. The RMS Queen Mary stands at the intersection of worlds, her legacy a blend of concrete history and ethereal mystery. This duality is what makes her story so compelling, a narrative that appeals to the historian and a ghost hunter alike. She challenges us to consider the layers of our world, to acknowledge the depth of human experience that includes both the empirical and the inexplicable. In her presence, we are reminded of the richness of our past and the endless possibilities of our future, a legacy that endures. As we look back on the RMS Queen Mary's journey, from her maiden voyage to her current status as a cherished landmark, we see a legacy that transcends time. She is more than a ship. She is a symbol of human endeavor, a repository of memories, and a gateway to the unknown. Her story is a mosaic of human lives, a collection of tales that continue to inspire, terrify, and fascinate. The RMS Queen Mary's legacy is not anchored solely in what she was, but in what she continues to be, a vessel of discovery, inviting us to explore the depths of our history and the mysteries of the paranormal. As she rests in the waters of Long Beach, she is not merely a relic of the past, but a living, breathing entity that continues to captivate our imaginations and stir our souls. In the silence of her decks, We hear the heartbeat of history and the whispers of those who came before us, urging us to keep seeking, to keep wondering, and to remember that the journey into the unknown is the most thrilling voyage of all. As we draw the curtains on this extraordinary voyage through the echoing corridors and mist-shrouded decks of the RMS Queen Mary, we find ourselves at the end of not just a tale of history and hauntings, but a journey into the heart of human curiosity. From her grand inception to her role as a silent guardian of the past, nestled in the waters of Long Beach, the Queen Mary has been our vessel through the turbulent seas of history and the shadowy realms of the paranormal. Through this journey, we've traversed the boundaries between the known and the unknown, standing at the helm with spectral captains, dancing in ballrooms with ghosts in white, and listening for the laughter of children echoing across time. The RMS Queen Mary, with her storied past and her haunted present, serves as a beacon, reminding us that our search for understanding and our fascination with the beyond are what truly make us human. As this podcast series comes to a close, let us carry forward the spirit of exploration and wonder that the Queen Mary embodies. May the stories of her passengers and the tales of her ghosts inspire us to seek out our own adventures, to explore the mysteries that lie just beyond the reach of our understanding, and to always keep a light shining in the dark, inviting spaces of our world. Thank you for joining us on this journey aboard the RMS Queen Mary. Though our voyage has ended, the stories and spirits of this grand old ship sail on, eternally navigating the seas of history and imagination. Until we meet again, keep the winds of curiosity at your back, and may the mysteries of the past and the unknown guide your way forward. Farewell, dear listeners, and remember, the greatest adventures lie not at the end of our journey, but along the path we choose to explore.